Hi people, it's me Anja, my pronouns are she and her, and welcome back to my channel for a new reading vlog. I've said in recent videos that I've been a reading machine in September, which remains to be true because I'm currently reading Stolen City. It's a YA fantasy following a team of people trying to pull off a heist, which I've found recently that I don't love that trope anymore because honestly, 6 of Crows set that precedent too high. But anyway, I still have low expectations for this book because the author previously wrote Dauntless, which I read in July and I rated 3 out of 5 stars, and currently I'm about a fourth of the way into this book and I don't quite understand the political background as much as I was really expecting to, and I'm not super attached to any of the 4 main characters yet. Maybe I will later on, but anyway, what's hooking me right now is the interesting world building, and the plot's pretty intriguing and engaging. But so far, I think that I will rate this book 3 out of 5 stars. So anyway, that's my reading update. Hi again, so it's been like an hour and a half since the last time I talked to you. I finished Stolen City. I would rate it 3.5 stars, or just 3 stars, honestly, because like, it wasn't that good, but it was exactly what I was expecting, if that makes any sense. Like, the plot was intriguing and engaging, but it was really fast-paced and action-packed. The 4 character perspectives, I felt like half of them were kind of unnecessary, but maybe that's just me. Maybe that's because I didn't fully understand the political background to this story, if that makes any sense, and I definitely don't fully understand the magic system either. So yeah, I didn't love the romances and everything, but anyway, yeah, there you have it, 3 out of 5 stars. I definitely preferred Dauntless, although that doesn't say much because I also rated Dauntless 3 stars too in July. But anyway, all that to say, I'm currently reading The Killing Code, which is a YA historical fiction murder mystery, and it's set during World War II, if I'm not mistaken, and it follows these characters who are spies or code breakers or something like that, and basically, girls have been dying lately, so they're trying to investigate and figure out what's up. You know what I mean? So yeah. Also, I think it's sapphic, if I'm not mistaken, too. So that's exciting. Anyway, I'm 40% through it right now. Right now, I think that I will rate it 3 stars, if not higher. So yeah, there you have it. That's my reading update. Hi again, another hour has passed, which means I've finished another book. But before I get into that, my sweet mates are currently watching Twilight in the room behind me, so I apologize if you can hear them. But anyway, The Killing Code was another 3-star read, but not in a disappointing way, because with Stolen City, I already had low expectations, so in a way, I expected to rate it what I did, but I still had hope that maybe it would be better than expected, and it wasn't. But with The Killing Code, I didn't really have expectations like that either way. With that said, the plot was intriguing, the world building was authentic. I appreciated the portrayal of the queer characters and the black character during World War II. The sapphic romance was well developed and cute. This book is advertised for fans of A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, and I definitely agree. So anyway, take that as you will. I rated it 3 stars. In other news, I have to leave in an hour or really soon to go to dinner, and then I have my evening class. Typically, I would have had 2 afternoon classes today. After working this morning, I have an on-campus job, if you didn't know, but they were both canceled, so instead of being a responsible college student, especially since I'm a senior, and getting ahead in homework, I decided to start a reading vlog instead. My next read will be Bone Weevil, which is a YA sapphic gritty fantasy written by the same author of The City Beautiful, which I read in February and I really liked, so I have 4-star expectations for this book. This book actually almost became part of my September TBR, but there's always a chance that like an author's sophomore book isn't as good as their first book, you know what I mean? So in that way, I have low expectations for this book, but I'm expecting this book to be at least 3.5 stars, if not 4 stars. But for like my monthly TBRs, I tend to talk about books that I have 4 or 5-star expectations for, so that's why this book didn't make the cut. But anyway, all that to say, I'm so excited for this book. I typically don't love gritty fantasies, but The City Beautiful, which like I mentioned I read in February, was so good, especially for the queer representation and the Jewish representation, but also just like the world building, the story, and the plot, and the characters, and everything like that. So anyway, I'm so excited to read this book. I hope that it will be really, really good. It's a haunting fantasy, according to Goodreads, following Toma, I think that's how you pronounce her name, who's the adopted daughter of the benevolent undead, making her way across a civil war-torn continent to save her younger sister as she discovers that she might possess magical powers herself. That's really cool and super interesting, and like I mentioned, it's a sapphic YA fantasy, so we love that. Anyway, all that to say, I'm so excited to read this book, and I'll probably give you another update after dinner, after my class, so it'll be much later in the evening. It's currently like 4 o'clock right now, in case you were wondering, and I started this reading vlog at about 1 or so. So anyway, all that to say, that's my reading update. I'll talk to you later. Hi people, it's been like 5 hours since the last time I talked to you because I went to dinner, I had my class, and now I've been sitting in bed reading. So a reading update is that I DNF'd Bone Weevil at like 36% or something like that, because to be completely honest with you, I didn't completely like understand the magic system or like the fantasy stuff or like the political background or anything like that. So like I didn't care enough to like continue the series, you know what I mean? But anyway, I'm currently reading Rust in the Loot, which is a YA historical fantasy set in 1937 following a black sapphic main character, and it's written by the same author of the Dread Nation duology, which I read at the very beginning of this year, so I'm absolutely so excited to start this book. This book is on my September TBR, so I have really high expectations for it. I just hope that I don't discover later on that it's problematic, because that's what happened when I read Dread Nation, because like a few months later I discovered that it's anti-indigenous. So anyway, I hope the author learned her lesson with that, you know what I mean? But anyway, Rust in the Loot is pretty good right now. I would say I'm like 5 chapters in or something like that. It's pretty good. I have like 4-star expectations for it. So yeah. Hi people, so it's the next day, and today I actually have all of my classes instead of yesterday when I had 2 out of 3 of my classes canceled, if that makes any sense. So anyway, I'm now home from all of my classes, and I have a reading update for you. First of all, I finished Rust in the Loot last night, which I rated 3.5 stars, which is lower than I thought I was going to, but frankly for me, the world building towards the end became more convoluted and confusing. I don't know why I just said convoluted and confusing. That's very redundant. But anyway, basically it became more convoluted than interesting towards the end. So it was kind of hard to understand like what was happening to the full extent of it, if that makes any sense. Also, I thought that the main character's sapphic sexuality would be more prominent in the story than it was. Not that I expect a queer romance to happen and to be well developed and everything in every queer book that I read, but I just thought that it would be more prominent and less casual than it was, if that makes any sense. So basically, all that to say, if there is going to be a sequel to Rust in the Loot, which I don't think that there will be, but I don't know, then I won't be reading it. Anyway, my current read is You Only Live Once, David Bruno, which is a middle-grade fantasy contemporary written by the same author of The Insiders, which I really enjoyed last year, which was such a wonderful, wholesome, sweet, queer, found family, safe space book. Like, it was absolutely so good. And with that said, I have really high expectations for this book. However, I don't think it's going to live up to those expectations because I think that I'm going to rate it at least 3 stars, although I will say I am only like 1/3 of the way through it, so I might change my mind later. But currently, right now, I think that my feelings about it stand at about 3 stars, because honestly, like, I don't understand how the 2 main storylines of this book connect together. Basically, if you didn't know, this book follows David Bruno, who's adopted, and he's trying to find out like his true heritage because he doesn't really know anything about it. He knows that he's Latinx, but like that's it, that he doesn't know anything else. And also there's this storyline about like a time traveling dog, because his bad day is going to start over again and he's going to be stuck in a time loop, I think. I'm not completely sure about that, but anyway, I don't understand how those 2 storylines all connected in any sort of way, except that they're obviously about the same main character. You You know what I mean? So anyway, all that to say, I'm only a third of the way through it right now, but I don't know how much time I'm going to have today to finish that book and start a new one, because of, like I mentioned earlier, I have homework tonight. Abbott Elementary Season 2 starts tonight. Like, I have other, like, priorities, so I don't know exactly when I'm going to finish this book. So yeah, anyway, all that to say, that's my reading update for today. So yeah, there you have it. Hi besties, it's been like several hours since the last time I talked to you, but I've been very productive today. Like, I went to work, I did some homework, I finished my book, which I incorrectly called You Only Live Once David Bruno, but it's actually called David Bravo, and I rated it 3 stars because what I anticipated when I was talking about earlier, when I was thinking about how like the two main storylines between the time traveling and the main characters, like adoption heritage, didn't fit well together. Like, it just didn't go well together. I don't know how to explain it without like spoiling anything, but basically I rated it 3 stars. I don't know what I'm going to read next, but honestly I'm going to head to bed pretty soon, so I have to quickly like edit this video and whatever before I go to sleep. So anyway, all that to say, I hope that you enjoy this video. I feel like this video was very random and like put together, but like the majority of my reading vlogs tend to be random and not exactly planned until like a few hours before or like the previous day or whatever. But anyway, the point is, if you enjoy this video, please don't hesitate to give it a big thumbs up. Comment down below the penguin emoji if you made it all the way to the end of the video. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to my channel if you're new, and I'll see you in my next video. Goodbye. See you later.